What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit about Spyro 4. It's not the greatest video when it comes to Spyro. Yet again, the last couple years also, haven't been the best in terms of Spyro. But what we have here is, I suppose, a bunch of rumors, kind of rumors on top of rumors, and people in the know on top of other people in the know. So bear with me here. What we have, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Canadian Guy A, right? And this is not like a diss on him at all. It's just that he kind of started this whole thing, right? So he made a video and he was talking about Spyro, and one of the things he clarified online was the way he talked specifically about it, like his actual wording of it. And he said, wording is the most important thing here. A Spyro title was in development in early 2020. While yes, it technically is speculative, I do think that statement is rock solid, but I never said it's still in development. I assume that it is, but it's not confirmed. Okay, so taking away any of the rumors that he's going off of, right? Just looking at him, really, I guess in this case, considering he's believing his own sources or his own intuition, he is kind of like the center of the rumor here for the purposes of this video. So a Spyro title was in development in early 2020. That's the rumor that he believes in, right? Whether he started the rumor himself or it's through other things, doesn't matter. That's the rumor, okay? And so the idea is he said it was in development, and now he thinks it still is, but that part isn't actually confirmed at all. It could have been canceled. It could have not happened. Well, what we have here now is another rumor mill individual, right? A person who has gotten some things right, okay? So it's important to pull that out. And he said, I have been asked to give my thoughts on this by a couple of you. No new Spyro title was in development in 2020. Okay, so now we add like another wave to this, where kind of two parts, right? So number one, no new Spyro title in development in 2020. So that is directly, I guess, calling Canadian Guy A out. And again, I mean, maybe you can look at it that aggressively. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just look at it as, no, that's just not correct. There was no new Spyro game. All right, so period. That's over. But then, okay, there's another wrinkle to it. So the wording even of this individual, no new Spyro title was in development in 2020. That also doesn't say if 2021, 2022, what about those years? Was a Spyro game started to be made after 2020, right? And that's a fair thing, I would say, to think about, considering, you have to go off these wrinkles anyway with Canadian Guy A. So now we have Blue Knight of V2, who actually is a follower of mine. I've talked to him before. Great guy. And I like this because he writes, a kind of a casual thought that came into my head when I was following this, but then he was also corrected. So there's a fourth wrinkle in this. So he says, I'll just say this, grains of salt, because A, it's a rumor, and B, even if a new Spyro game wasn't in development in 2020, it could have started in 2021. Heck, Crash Team Rumble for 2 years, and Spyro keeps being put in everything Crash. Next year is the 25th anniversary. So there are reasons to believe, Spyro would come back, and I'm not dissing those or, putting those down. So that's fair, right? And again, the idea there is the wording is still important. Just like Canadian Guy A, the wording was important. Maybe the wording is also important for the other individual, right? So then he responded to Blue Knight as well and said, this is grasping at straws, sorry, which that's very much, I think, dissing, like putting it down, right? So what we have here is a long-winded, a 3.5-minute way of saying, I really think the Spyro rumors have just been murdered within the span. This was actually a couple days ago, December 29th, and I think like December 21st was the Canadian Guy A thing. Even though the original video and the first time Canadian Guy A started talking about this was back in November, but this is kind of like picking up. So I'm very disappointed if this is true. I guess I should definitely say that, first thing, I want a new Spyro game. I do think with every passing year, it becomes, well, more and more disappointing for sure, but also more and more like unlikely that it happens. And I don't think this was supposed to happen. This isn't, again, the plan and I don't know the reasons right behind the scenes, but it worked so well, I guess in some regards, with Crash. And I would say that because, we did get Crash 4, right? We got a brand new Crash. I thought it was really, really awesome. I liked it. I thought it had a lot of, foundational, good things with it that you can continue to build in the future. Now, how well did that sell? We don't really know. They've never really said it. Then the next Crash game that comes is Team Rumble, a game that I'm excited for, and I've talked about pretty positively, but when you look online, there's actually not a lot of support for this, which I get. I totally get, because it's also a game that I fully recognize, even though I like it. It's a game that, or I'll take it, I suppose, but it's a game nobody asked for. Not a single soul asked for Crash Team Rumble, right? Not nobody. So, like, where is Crash actually going? Are we actually in a productive phase, of Crash's return? Well, you could say it's definitely more productive than Spyro, where Spyro, again, we don't have numbers for either of them. They've been kept really, really under wraps, but it seems, at least in certain parts of the world, it seems like Spyro actually outsold Crash, like the remake, trilogies. Spyro actually outsold Crash in at least certain parts of the world. We don't know the whole worldwide, but we do know certain parts, and Spyro actually outsold it. So, why aren't we, where's Spyro? I mean, that's the question we've been asking for almost half a decade now, right? After asking it for much longer, before that. But it's disappointing, because even when there is like a shred of hope, and it's tough, like now, it really is now, who do you want to believe? Do you want to believe Canadian Guy A? Do you want to believe other people? Like, that's up to you. That's totally up to you, and that's fine. But if you believe, and I don't, Silux, I think that's how you say his name, who, again, he's gotten stuff right. In fact, I believe his main thing, at least recently, is he got right, or he predicted the DLC to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That was one of the things he got right. So, is he hit or miss? I think he is. I don't think he gets everything right, which is, again, important to throw out. But, he's somebody who's going against the grain, against Canadian Guy A, against them, where even if you had hope that the game was in development and maybe it's canceled, maybe they put it down and picked it back up, which wouldn't be surprising. In fact, we know that I always say this, but remember, every single game that was in development in Activision was put down factually. Like, there's no debating it. It was put down for almost a full calendar year, a year ago, to make Call of Duty. Not this most recent Call of Duty, the last one. And so, I mean, that is true. So, in 2021, all games were put down. So, like Spyro, if it was in 2020 being made, it would have factually been put down in 2021. That is true. Now, again, this guy, Silux, says it was never, in development in 2020. So, again, who do you want to believe? That's up to you. But doesn't seem great. I'll say that for Spyro fans. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.